Hello, welcome to Critical Idiots. This episode's our holiday special, and guess what we're doing?
Wonder Woman and her resurrected boyfriend chasing a oil tycoon who has a stone that has the ability to make wishes come true, but at a terrible price.
Yeah.
And
you forgot to mention Leopard Woman.
Yeah, and Kirsten Wiig is
Leopard Girl.
Is Leopard Girl. So there was some CGI left over from the Cats movie.
Yeah. I thought that the camp was really fun.
Yeah.
And there was terrible CGI effects. But
some are good.
Some are pretty good.
There's this one scene where Kristen Wiig is beating up this guy.
Yeah.
But the first two blows that she lands were just really, really well done.
Yeah,
and the
cool.
third one, it kind of looks like a dummy just threw across the floor.
Didn't it go whoop? It's it looks really fake.
It was just terrible.
But in terms of some of the camp that wasn't to do with the effects, it feels like, I don't know the best way to word it, but it's just every single shot with Gal Gadot looks like she's posing to look as awesome and hot as possible.
Yeah,
it's not always practical. So it's so silly. But it's not in a male gazy way where it's really sexualized. It's it's trying to be she's just strong and she just happens to be so hot.
It's
Superman. But it's trying to,
It's like Superman but woman.
Yeah, exactly. It's trying to be the same thing as Superman. Yeah.
In terms of the campiness, I did sort of a lot of the over-the-top stuff that I really enjoyed that this film didn't end with a giant laser being blasted into the sky, or there was still this sort of doomsday sort of scenario playing out, but it just still had this sort of it didn't feel serious. It felt and I was talking about how DC is always so dark and serious.
Yeah, but there'd be some campy stuff you can't play the score. Just sometimes it was you can't have that as your score. That's a joke movie score.
I
it should be running and it would be tin it, and I was what? That's a cliche of itself.
There was a lot of
funny.
There's a lot of cliches in this film. When we first meet Kristen Wiig, she's
really awkward.
Nerdy,
awkward
geeky,
is the word.
Yeah, geeky, awkward new employee, and she comes into the office and she drops her briefcase, and when she picks it up, all of the things in her briefcase spill out, and it's all this crap that you saw in I don't know, comedies in the 90s or even earlier. And I'm not too sure if that's just trying to be sort of an 80s nostalgia thing, or if it's just bad or poor writing.
It was, but if it's going to go for an 80s nostalgia thing, and it should have had some 80s pop tunes.
Yeah.
The trailer had Blue Monday and a bunch of other songs, and it's nothing like that in the movie.
It had a bit of Gary Newman for a little bit within a club.
It needed that power ballad.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't need heaps of it, but just every now and then,
the sort of thing how I haven't seen it, but I know that the opening of Thor Ragnarok uses Led Zeppelin really well.
Yeah.
Something that's a little bit more, and it also sets the tone of the film really well. That it's upbeat and fun and.
I just expected that. I don't know why, but maybe that would have been too much like Marvel, because Marvel does do that a lot. And
there's moments like that I wasn't too sure if were intentionally ridiculous or not. I still enjoyed them, but they were still bizarre.
Some of the serious moments, you just supposedly serious moments, I couldn't stop laughing.
Well, I don't mean those. I mean when there's the military convoy that's they're in Egypt or something, and there's a military convoy coming down the road, and Wonder Woman's fighting everyone on it, and then a bunch of kids step out on this they're playing ball.
Yeah.
And
talk about saving the cat.
And there's literally nothing in a kilometer range, but these military tanks that are firing weapons at each other, and
I'm like,
there's clearly enough time and space for these children to get off the road.
Not even that, just notice them, because they'd be making some sort of sound.
Yeah, she had like Spidey vision for it. She was like... So Max Lord, played by Pedro Pascal.
Easily the best character in it.
He's probably easily the best character in the film.
Both in terms of performance and like
dialogue.
And like his motivation and everything.
Yeah, but I feel like his performance gave it extra motivation, if that makes sense. Like, it's like almost like the script didn't give him that much motivation.
He added
the way he acted it felt like he just gave it his own subtext.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So it's like, I feel like it was a stronger character than was actually written for him.
There's this sort of irrational quality that didn't come off. Like it was still camp, but it didn't feel cartoony.
Yeah.
It felt somehow that this really was this eccentric guy who's like, I'm going to make it. I'm going to be that millionaire that's that 1%.
Yeah, that determined,
like ultimate determinist. Yeah. It's just like I will make it happen. Yeah.
And for the most part, like, because of his charm, I feel like you can't help but root for him.
Oh yeah.
I was kind of like, it's kind of like it was his movie after a while.
Well, we spoke.
Wonder Woman who?
we spoke after the film about how Wonder Woman isn't really a very active character in her own movie. It feels like, and that happens a lot with superheroes, that the villain is so interesting and has to do so much that you want to follow them. But I feel like that was such an interesting, I don't know, this guy who's getting all of these enemies to make their wishes, so they will have the twist, the negative twist that comes with it, destroy them and build his empire up even more. I thought that was a really cool idea for a villain, for a superhero villain, that he's not like shooting lasers or super strong, that he's using the temptation of other people who have power in the world to fuck it up. What did you guys think of Kristen Wiig? Because she's usually somebody who's in more comedic roles, and there was humor in this character, but I wouldn't say it was, a comedic role.
I feel like the first sort of section of the movie, before she starts beating that guy up, it kind of feels like a standard Kristen Wiig character.
I
was just like, oh god, here we go again with that same shit. But as the story progresses, she becomes more and more villainous and evil, and it's just like, oh, okay, you're actually useful for something.
I like Kristen Wiig a lot.
I don't know. Something about her really annoys me.
I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's like I liked her enough in Bridesmaids. It was fun, but then like she really bugged me in like Mother and stuff like that. I know you disagree.
I loved her in Mother.
It just pulled me out so much. I don't know.
I watched a lot of her era of SNL when I was growing up. Like I was watching. That's when I got into SNL. Was when she was in the main cast, and so I feel like I definitely probably have I've seen her do a lot of good things.
Yeah, with that like message Gal Gadot gave out at the end of the movie, I was expecting her to get a bunch of celebrities together to sing Imagine.
Or We Are the World.
Yeah. That's what should have happened. Gal Gadot and then Ben Affleck just comes into the room.
She saves this little girl and she tells her, shh, don't tell anyone.
This is our little secret.
There is like a literal whole shopping mall full of people looking at you. Like, are they not going to remember the fucking giant muscular woman in metallic red and blue? What?
A shiny red, golden blue miniskirt.
This material that seemed to be made out of metal, but moved like silk, and no one's gonna notice her and say anything to the authorities.
Not again.
It's just so ridiculous how it escalates. Even in the shopping centre, she throws the things so all the cameras won't pick her up.
Yeah.
It's just so ridiculous. How does she even know where all the cameras
She walks around as Diana, just observing them all and taking down.
In case there's a future crime here, it'd be good to get rid of the security.
The same thing that terrorists do.
No, one thing that really was funny to me is like one point she's like to Chris Pine, she's just like, "Oh, the gods created this back in the like," and he just goes with it.
Yeah.
Do you think he'd be like,
What?
"It's blowing my mind. There's gods."
So they make this crazy armor, the Amazonians back in the day, that was for this one person to fend off
humankind.
defend off the Amazonian women as the barbaric men try to take over the city or whatever. I don't know. I didn't watch the
I
last
don't remember it, but yeah.
I don't think it was in the last one.
Probably not. It's just like some exposition and a flashback they throw into this
She's on
one.
that island as a little girl in the first one for so long.
But how did this if Wonder Woman has this armor now? How did it survive if the woman who was using it was defeated? And if she was defeated, why would it be intact? And if she was defeated, then it can't be that special because she still got defeated.
Yeah. It's currently getting defeated by Kristen Wiig again.
Yeah, who's. It seemed like a really silly thing to throw in for no reason, just so she could have this badass gold angel outfit.
This whole movie
looks like a Valkyrie.
Yeah,
this whole movie is just a giant what fest. Just what is happening? What the fuck is that? What's that?
There's a lot of unexplained things in this film,
but
the logic really goes out the window. And I think the camp side of it, can work for it, but at the end of the day, it still made me a little bit annoyed. I was like, I feel like it would have been that difficult to have somebody say
some sort of coherent backstory to any of the things that have happened. Yeah, but as you said, the camp sort of takes over, and you kind of enjoy it for what it is. So
it's like a bit where she's whipping the whip around, and it's getting all these bullets.
Yeah,
it's just. It's so silly. There's a lot of Easter eggs in this movie that people that are really into Wonder Woman, with people in our audience clapped and cheered.
There was
a few times.
No, there was that one chick who was like, "Oh my god!" and everyone just shut the fuck up.
If you're one of those,
we laughed.
No, if you're one of those people, you've already seen the movie, so you know.
Well, no, because the film hasn't come out yet.
Well, you should see the movie then.
It comes out Boxing Day, which is hopefully, if I edit this in time, tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, or if you're watching it on HBO Max in America.
Oh, shut up.
Shame on you.
Fuck up.
You should be watching Critical Idiots on the big screen.
Yeah. Why don't you watch Critical Idiots
on the big screen?
On the TV. Just get your TV out and just watch us on there. You can see Owen's face in full HD, man. Anyway, let's get into final thoughts here.
Okay, final thoughts. Did we get into any serious cons there?
I don't think so. Besides for just
the whole writing is just very confusing and clunky, and
there's a lot of times that they try
paced okay.
Yeah, pacing I thought was really alright with this film, but just dialogue was really, really awkward and dumb and fluffy, where somebody's trying to say something bold and eloquent and metaphorical and poetic.
The words they use.
It just they don't say anything.
Yeah. It's like they've filtered the speech into a synonym.
They got an AI to write something. They put in a bunch of inspirational quotes into an AI.
Google Translator.
Convert it from Korean back to English.
That's what the dialogue.
It's so awkward, but at the same time, it's such a fun movie. So, you can almost forgive it for the clunky dialogue.
I mean, I will say I don't come to these films to see amazing dialogue, but
at least you want some coherence.
It felt like a first draft at some sort of time. It just felt a little bit lazy.
Yeah. I don't want to get into any spoilers or talk about the ending at all, or whatever. But I feel like the ending it didn't sink the landing.
No,
I mean, it didn't stick the landing.
Yeah. I thought the end.
I'll say, but it was built up quite well. But then I was just like,
it's a letdown.
Yeah.
It was one of those endings that sort of end with yet again somebody having a speech and convincing everyone to make a change. and when you don't have the...
It's a little lame.
Oh,
Yeah.
if we get into like a brief little spoiler talk, like she's making that big powerful speech to Pedro Pascal's character, who's supposed to be talking to the world through a camera, but she kicks that away. So who the hell is he talking?
Well, they're just completely standing out of range. There's all these loud sounds. How is the mic picking her up? She's lying in a corner.
Through the whip.
That's right, yeah.
The whip is connected to his leg, which is somehow now an XLR cable that connects to
Yeah, her whip
Like I
has
said,
some crazy abilities.
it's unspecified powers.
I do love it. I want to say one of my favorite campy things I saw in this was when I don't know what this is, but she's in the air and she is using her whip to lasso from lightning bolt to lightning bolt. I was like, what did it exist for such a fraction of time?
No, what about when she's able to lasso a bullet away from shooting someone? And it's like, what? How does she's got to lasso it, and then the lasso's got to wrap around the bullet and pull it back. And like you see the shot of her doing it, that takes way longer than the bullet getting fired.
Oh god. Yeah.
She would have to start lassoing before the bullet's fired.
So
They move this cord from across the end of the room over.
Just imagine like you're about to get shot. I get a power adapter. And I'm like,
So yeah, I'm gonna say my final thoughts. Look, I've been following Gal Gadot's career from Fast and Furious because she plays Giselle in that, and you know she was a great side character in that. But it's really nice to see her progress into this main character.
Lead role.
Yeah, lead role sort of stuff. So I'm very very pleased with that. But at the same time, she does nothing in this movie. In summation, this movie is ridiculous. It's over the top. Its dialogue is just nothing. But at the same time, it's fun. It's enjoyable. It's goofy in a way. The only... Well, I mean, there's multiple problems, but the one impactful flaw, the one that really detriments from the movie is that the dialogue is, you know, very, very questionable, and also Gal Gadot doesn't feel like anything in her own movie. So, that being said... It's fun. It's a problem movie that's really really fun. So I'm gonna give it a 6.
yeah, look, I echo a lot of what you're saying. And I would have given it that score or even a higher score if the ending wasn't so lame. That's really my biggest problem with it. It's like I was like rolling my eyes, and before, as bad as it could get at times potentially, I was with it.
Yeah.
I went into this movie being like, I don't want to watch this. This looks terrible. And then I was actually like, I'm having fun. My boy Pedro's here. It's a good time. And for most of it, it kind of keeps up that energy and it's paced pretty well. There's definitely a lot of problems. And then the ending kind of gets a bit lame. But some of the cheese is some of the best cheese I've seen in a superhero movie in the longest time. Like, all of those shots of Gal Gadot are hilarious. Like, when she's meant to be at her like low point in the film, and just like her legs are spread out, and she's all like, "You don't have to do this." It's hilarious. I don't know. I think I'm gonna give it a 5.5 for now. It could go up to a 6. It could go down to a 5. Maybe it's just a 5. Look, I enjoyed it more than I didn't.
Yeah.
Brody potentially going to give the highest rating out of us for a DC film.
I gave it a 6.
He said it's 6.5.
No, I said 5.5.
Oh, 5.5. Sorry.
Yeah, 5.5 is fair.
Yeah. Yeah, so in summation, I enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I would. Still didn't think it was a particularly good film. So
that's fair.
I would give this a 4.5 out of 10.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
Yeah, I can see it. That was good.
Alright, so thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that jazz.
Or Gal Gadot.
Oh.
I'm not even looking at the right camera.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. And be sure to follow our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We have a SoundCloud if you want to listen to that. And Chris and Charles couldn't be here, unfortunately, because... And we'll see you next time. Take care, guys.